used to be so much of a people pleaser that I didn't even realize when I was people pleasing. So if you're like me and you struggle with people pleasing or codependency, here are 3 questions you can ask yourself before you do anything that will help you discover whether or not you truly want to do it or not. And sometimes we don't know what we want to do because so often we have placed the needs, wants, and desires of others above ourselves. So we're almost like programmed to consider others above ourselves. And as an adult, your needs and wants are equally as important as the needs and wants of others. Other adults are your peers as you're an adult yourself. So here are 3 questions you can ask yourself to help you determine if you truly want to involve yourself or do something, and if you're just not feeling it. Like I always say, if it's not a hell yes, then it might just be a no. Number 1, how do you feel? Do you feel safe or comfortable in your body, or do you feel tense and uncomfortable, or feel a slight bit of anxiety or a headache? Those might be indicators that you don't want to do whatever is being asked of you or wherever you're being invited to go. Second, what do I want? Now that might be a tricky one, and it might be tricky because again, you're focusing on what others want for you and not what you want for yourself. So when you ask yourself, what do I want? If you find that you can't think of what you want, like maybe you feel anxiety or you feel like your mind went blank, take a deep breath and ask yourself, if I weren't worried about anyone's reaction to my choice, what would my choice be? Reframe it. If no one was going to judge me, for example, what would my choice be? If I weren't worried about the opinions of others, what would my choice be? And that will help me answer question number 2. And lastly, why do I want to do this or that? Whether that's go here or date him or her. So a lot of times when we have a tendency to be codependent and when we have a habit of people pleasing, we'll think that we want to do something, but what we want to do is please others. And so your default mechanism or your default program, is to just be pleasing. So that's why it's important to ask yourself before you do these things, why do I want to do this? And you might find that if your answer comes up with, well, my boyfriend or my wife or my this, you're already thinking about others before yourself, and that means you shouldn't do it. Now an answer that would be authentic is because I really enjoy parties, or I really enjoy music, or I really enjoy Italian food, and that's why I want to go to this dinner. You see the difference? One answer included I, which is obviously your choice, and the first answer included others. And it's not selfish to include yourself. Remember, your needs and wants are just as important as the needs and wants of others. And this is all about valuing yourself and cultivating a healthy mindset and walking in your power. And the only way to do that is if you aren't putting others on a pedestal and putting yourself down here lowly, because then you're going to feel lowly. And you're going to feel lowly because you're not honoring yourself. And not honoring yourself creates distrust within the self. And when you don't trust yourself, you don't feel good about yourself. And see how it just continues this repetitious cycle of low self-esteem, being undervalued, being overlooked. But it all comes back to you is because you're not valuing yourself, and it's because you're overlooking yourself for everyone else. I hope this helps.